it's allowed me to be home with my kids and scale from, like I said, a couple of gifted collabs that was just basically product and nothing else, to now the last about 3 months, I've averaged right around 3,000 a month.
All right, everyone. Hello, Jessie. Hello, everyone. Jessie here is a Gen X mom that has 2 neurodivergent kids who was working on a separate business before, but now she's able to go full-time into UGC. So today we're going to be talking about her journey, going to go over what it was like for her achieving such success while also, juggling 2 kids with ADHD, and why it actually was her edge that she had, her unfair advantage, to go viral multiple times. So Jessie, first and foremost, hello. And if you could give a brief introduction about yourself, age, where you're from, what does your family life look like right now?
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm 49. I'll be 50 this year. So yeah, Gen X mom, been married for 13 years to a military combat veteran. And so we've moved around quite a bit. We're back home in Texas. I have 2 boys. They're about to be 12 and 20. Oh my gosh. And all 4 of us have been diagnosed with ADHD. And then myself, my husband, and my youngest son have also been diagnosed with autism. So we're definitely a neurodivergent household. Like you said, it did kind of give me sort of an unfair advantage, I guess. In my own personal, I've used kind of my social platforms to talk about neurodivergence and raising a family, being neurodivergent and having neurodivergent kids. But then, yeah, in one of the campaigns through the agency, that really fit in well and just really kind of gave me an advantage there. So.
Absolutely. It's been amazing having you on. I think it was an amazing fit. We're going to dive into the specific campaign later on. But if you can just tell us real brief, what was it like for you getting into UGC? What got you into UGC in the first place?
Oh gosh. What got me into UGC, after I had my youngest son and needed to stay home after being in the corporate world for 15 years, having him and having our neurodivergent issues and things, I needed to stay home. So I had built my own virtual assistant business, which I'd ran for about 4.5, almost 5 years. But it was just getting to a point where I needed something that was something more that fit kind of my creative side and was a little more flexible. Homeschooling my son and things with family, I needed a little more flexibility, but also a way to provide and help provide for my family. So I heard about UGC. I happened to come across a couple of UGC videos, people talking about it, and I kind of dove into it back in September, towards the end of September, and then found UGC World and the Academy, and then eventually the agency. So it's been great. I started off with just some small paid collabs, gifted collabs, and then of course through the Academy and the agency, we're able to get into better campaigns and CPM campaigns, and through the agency, a really great campaign where, like you said, I've been able to go viral multiple times. And so it's allowed me to be home with my kids and scale from, like I said, a couple of gifted collabs that was just basically product and nothing else, to now the last about 3 months, I've averaged right around 3,000 a month. So it's definitely been a great help for my family financially. And then also gave me the flexibility with my kids and my family to do this and have fun. And like my youngest son also helps me in some of the campaign videos. So it's really kind of been something that we could do as a family too.
Absolutely, 100%. What did that 3K do you feel like do for you and your family? If you, for example, would compare it to the 4 to 5 years that you ran your VA business?
It basically took it to where my VA business, I was only doing part-time just because with my family, that's really all I had time for. But the VA business was a lot more intensive as far as I got to the point where I was staying up pretty much all night to catch up on my VA business after I put my kids to sleep, which made it really hard on me. But then finding UGC and being able to do UGC and have it integrate with my family to where my son and my husband even helps me in videos. I can do it, off and on in between his appointments and our therapy sessions and things. So that's made it to where now I'm more present with my family And it's also given us just that financial boost that I'm making as much right now with UGC. Well, I'm making a little more now with UGC than I was with my VA business when I made the switch.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. Getting into it in September, right? Into UGC as a whole.
Yes, yeah.
What was it like? What were your first attempts with UGC like back then?
My first attempts, like I said, my first attempts were mainly just a few gifted collabs where basically the brand would send the product. I would make a video and just get to keep the product. So I kind of graduated from it to doing a few where, I got product plus, paid a little bit, and then finally was able to get into a couple of tech campaigns, CPM campaigns. And so even at that point, though, it was just CPM. I wasn't getting any base or anything, just CPM, which means just I got money based on how well my videos did. I got money per so many views. And so those went pretty well. I was doing okay with those, but it wasn't really until I found the academy and enjoyed the agency where I really began to scale and kind of ramp up to where I got to that 3,000 kind of consistently.
Absolutely amazing. 3K consistently now. That's great to hear. We talked, I think I was the one who talked to you in September as well, a couple of months ago. In the first place, you're now at 3K. What do you feel like was the big thing that changed, let's say? You going from gifted collabs before, and then, eventually meeting us, and then also to where you are now, which is 3K consistently and performing incredibly well, by the way. I'll have to tell you in some of the campaigns. What was it like?
It's been great as far as having the coaching and just having the mentorship and stuff through the academy and the agency to learn to improve as I went in my content, and then also to learn how to or use it in a way that was better financially and just time wise for myself too. So instead of a few gifted collabs here and there, it's more consistent. Being in the agency and being with the campaigns, it's more consistent posting, it's more consistent pay, and more consistent help and learning as I go, which is always a great thing, especially as a creator. The more you can learn and figure out, what it takes to make good content that actually converts for the brand, then, the sky's the limit. So that's really been the big thing there, is having the backing of the academy and the agency to learn that and to know that I don't have to spend as much time out there looking for collabs and looking and pitching and things, that I have the agency backing there to help with campaigns. And so then I can spend more of that time actually making good content and learning to improve my content.
Absolutely. And you have improved like massively. I cannot tell you the difference. Like it is night and day between, from what I remember, in September and then let's say the month following and now. I mean, at this current moment, you are a top performing creator for, let's say, Cloud9, right? Do you know, by the way, because I know that you're also on Peter Busters, what view amount you've gotten up to, let's say in total? Have you ever counted up?
Oh gosh, I did not too long ago. I counted up, trying to think, and it's been a month or so ago. I was up to like 16 million and something. Even just this month alone, I just looked last night. I know it's a lot more than that. I need to add it up again, because I know I was looking last night, and just one platform for one of the campaigns, I was up to like 10 million views.
Yeah.
For the month. So yeah, it's been going well. There's certain, and that's one thing too, having the different campaigns through the agency and then in doing different campaigns, you start to learn like where your strengths are. And so if you can kind of, play into those, then of course, your content does better. So I've learned kind of what some of my strengths are and trying to play into those a lot more.
Where would you say your strengths are?
I would say my strengths have been organic, of course, just, organic UGC, and then really skit style, controversial has been a big one on a couple of the campaigns I've done. And I'm kind of still working on the more ad style and kind of honing that in. But the controversial, just authentic, organic, relatable mom, and then the really kind of sometimes off the wall, kind of controversial, crazy skit stuff seem to do really well with too. So.
I agree. I think I kind of teased it in the beginning where it was like your secret edge, but like you have performed massively well in the Cloud9 campaign, for example, which is, but for those of you who don't know, Cloud9 make sensory hoodies for people on the spectrum, neurodivergent, ADHD. Incredible fit with Jessie in the best way possible. I believe in the beginning the campaign was full, if you remember, in September, and then I talked to Vanch, which is the founder of the company, and I was like, here is Jessie. Like, if you would ask for a perfect creator, if you would ask us for a perfect creator, here she is. And I think that was the best decision that I made in that campaign, getting you on. And like all kind of praise goes to you because you're the one who performed absolutely incredibly well. Incredible.
I mean, praise goes to you and to the agency too, though, because I mean, you got me in there. So, in a campaign that was full, I love that you saw the fit and saw that it could work. So, yeah, I really appreciate that, and it's done well. So.
Thank you, Jessie. I believe this can only work if we work as a team, right? You talked about the community, how much you learn from the academy itself, because we have that backing of all the mentors too. But it can only work if we do truly work together, and I believe in that first and foremost. So yes. That's what we preach. That's what we do. Absolutely, freaking incredible. And having gone through that, what would you say you have gotten up to in your biggest month? Was your biggest month that 3K? Is that the average, or was it the biggest month yet?
I think the biggest month total was around 3,600, and then 3K between about 29 and 3,100 has been kind of my average. So right around 3K is the average for the last few months.
Incredible. With that, you said that there is a certain stability that comes with CPM campaigns as well, right?
Yes.
Would you say that is the thing that attracted you most to it, that you have that stability, that base retainer, let's say?
Yes, yeah, it was definitely something that attracted me to it, because, as a busy wife and mom, and I have so many other things going, so constantly having to go and pitch myself and, do that extra work. I've never shied away from hard work. I've done it my entire life. But right now in this phase of my life, having that extra backing of the agency to have those campaigns where I get more of a steady base income gave me the room to be able to really work on my content and grow, to where if I was going and doing the pitching and stuff all on my own, I might not have had as much time to work on that. So that's really been a good thing financially and just learning and growing as a UGC creator for me to have those and have that backing.
Amazing. Do you feel like that was the reason why you decided to join in the first place, because obviously we do what creators do, just on a bigger scale, right? Reaching out, I'm on calls with founders, negotiating for you guys. Is that the thing that attracted you in the first place?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a big part of the attraction. Yeah. Was having that extra step and that person there, like you said, to work together with, but also that, is working for you and working towards, things to make it better for you and whatever campaign you're on. And so that's definitely, and to bring that stability of having at least a base, so you at least know that as long as you're, creating your content and everything, that you have, a certain level that you're going to be getting financially. And then, of course, the more you work on your content and the better your content does, of course, then, you can get more. But at least you have that stability. So you kind of know, what's coming in that month.
I love that. That warms my heart, because that is exactly what we have done it for, which is basically give a stable base, a more stable base, right? Instead of you having to reach out, we can just hand you brand deals at that point. You don't have to worry about that, and you can focus on what you're best at, which we see, right? Not only creating content, but with your special edge in campaigns like Cloud9, for example, like we saw. Whether we can play a clip probably of the video that you did, which was basically you recreating a scenario from, or like recreating a scenario from your past, correct?
Yes, yeah. Oh, go ahead. I was just saying I kind of took, because I had realized that the kind of the controversial skit style was something that I would kind of had a strength in on another campaign. Then for Cloud9, trying to figure out kind of when we first were trying to figure out what would work, I brought that over and just kind of translated it into something that I actually went through with my son in his school. I had to fight for him to have some accommodations that he needed. And so I used that as part of a skit for Cloud9, and that's one of the first ones that really went viral.
That is true. Your video was the very first one that gave us that big spike at the beginning. That was the first viral format. This is exactly what I'm saying. It's I'm so happy that it gives you the base that you need in order to express yourself creatively and find those unique angles, right? You need to have a certain amount of bandwidth as well in order to come up with that, obviously. And that's exactly what it was for. And I guess we achieved it, which is give you a stable base. You can focus on what you're best at, which is creating content with your creative edge. And that makes me very happy.
Thank you. Yeah, it makes me happy too. I'm glad we could
Absolutely.
work together and have this. Yeah.
And something that's very special as well, I believe we first met up in the in-person event, which was a kind of a first time thing that we did in Dallas. That was kind of an event where we gathered up all the creators. If you can talk about how you found that as well. I know we briefly mentioned it after the event itself, but if you can have a word or two on it.
Oh yeah, no, great. That when I saw that you were going to be in Dallas, and I'm about 2 hours away, but it was close enough that I could make, I could drive and make it. I was like, okay, wait, I've got to find a way to make this because we've worked together for quite a few months, but we've never actually met in person until then. And just being there at that event with the coaches and being there with the other creators was just such a boost I needed right then. I had been going through some stuff just family-wise and health-wise, and was just kind of maintaining, but really needed a boost and a spark to kind of get back my creative drive and stuff to get started again. And that was it. That in-person meeting not only kind of sparked that drive in me again to just keep going with my creativity and working on my content, but also just learning about other creators there and how much a lot of us have in common, and just learning different tips and tricks and things from different people. It was so great to just be there in person, and it was different than being online. Being online is great, and you get so much help from the coaches and the coaching calls and everything, but being in person just gave another whole layer to it and another kind of connection to it.
I love it. I can tell you one thing, and having talked to everybody on that event, it was amazing. It was amazing having you there. I think I second that statement. Like working online is one thing, but if you actually meet in person, I feel like that gives it a whole nother like layer to the connection. And
Yeah.
that was lovely. That was a lovely thing. When you mentioned what you have gone through and knowing that you were going through personal issues and you said that you needed that event, and hearing that, when did you wake up when you started driving to Dallas? Was it?
Oh, it was like about 5 a.m.
On a weekend, right? So hearing you go through all of that, waking up early on a weekend to go to the event, made me nearly tear up when I heard that one back a couple of weeks ago. And I just wanted to give you that appreciation as well. I think it has been absolutely incredible working with every creator in the actual agency, you specifically, but don't tell the other ones that I said this. Don't tell the other ones. But all in all, it a great enrichment. It was absolutely lovely, and I hope we can continue like this and better, like moving forward. We can get you to higher and higher goals.
Oh well. Yes, yeah, yeah, and that's my goal too. I mean, the average and where I'm at right now is definitely not where I want to stay and where I want to stop. So I see it working. I see us growing, and I see things that have opportunity out there. So I'm really excited and looking forward to kind of ramping it up some. And, I have certain goals that I want to get to just financially and family wise. So that's my next step.
What is it? What is your goal financially?
Financially, I think I want to consistently be at least 5,000 to 6,000 a month. Of course, anything extra, of course, would be great. But I mean, I think consistently, just for me, for different things, that's one thing too. Being a neurodivergent mom and being, having special needs children, there's a lot of extra expenses that a lot of people don't realize that go into that. Insurance and things pay some stuff, but there's so much out of pocket that it doesn't cover. That really, if you can provide that for your children, it makes such a difference. And it's kind of sad that insurance and things doesn't cover it all. But something like this just helps me give that extra income to where I can help provide those things for my son and my family. And that's something that, I can't replace. And being able to do it through UGC, where it's also flexible and my son and my husband can help me with it. And we can do it as a family, and I can do it in between, his therapy sessions and things. It's just something that's really hard to find as a wife and a mother. And it's incredible. It's been really great.
Yeah. Is that part of the family goals as well?
Yes. Yeah, that's part of the family goals as well, is to get to a point where we're comfortably not stress and anxiety is one of those things that kind of goes along with ADHD and autism. But anytime you can kind of take some of that away, it's just going to help overall so much. And so getting to a point financially where I don't have that constant stress about financial issues would take so much stress off of me, which also gives me more, more bandwidth and just more energy to put into my family and to put into my kids. So that's always a great thing.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That's a very good goal to have. What do you feel like is stopping you from hitting it, and how can we help?
I think right now, kind of one of my main bottlenecks is the editing part. And I think we talked about this at the in-person event too. Is the editing part. I don't know. ADHD, autism. I guess I can do the editing. I've done it in my VA business for years and stuff. But right now, it seems like it's kind of slowing me down. I create the content and everything, and then I keep kind of putting off actually doing the editing and getting it finalized. So
we did talk about this. You mentioned it was like perfectionism, right? That was kind of keeping you, this needs to be perfected. You kind of get into your own head. I remember editing picking up like something crazy, like 15 hours a week, just editing, because you're on CPM campaigns, which means that you have to have a certain volume that you produce, which comes with a certain volume of editing that you have to do, obviously, too. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. And hearing that, and we did talk about an in-person event, but the thing that I cooked up for that is I actually connected with an editing agency. So they staff editors as well for e-com brands, connected with the founder of that agency, and very happy to announce that for a lot of the creators, 100%, you are top of the tippity top of the list above me. It's like we are going to get you guys editors as well to help.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow!
We're gonna
that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Just to make it simpler, because what you guys are best at is creating content. We don't want the editing stuff to stand in the way. And we talked about this too. If you're getting in your head about it, it like slows you down completely, where it's like you don't even want to start potentially because that editing is coming up.
Yes.
If it can solve for you guys, I will absolutely do everything in my power to do so. So that's what's coming up. You can.
I'm so thankful for that, and I think that would be a huge step to scale and to move up and move forward.
Absolutely. I'm very glad to do it. I think if you would give one last piece of advice to creators, let's say a creator starting out with UGC, thinking about it, what piece of advice would you give that creator?
I think my greatest piece of advice, just from my experience, would be find a community of creators and coaches and that you can learn from and that you connect with. Because before I came to the academy and the agency, I had found another group that I had kind of been in for a little bit, and great people, really nice, but it just didn't click, you know. So sometimes you have to find your people that really connect with you and that the way they teach and the way they mentor really works for you. So yeah, find your people. There's great coaching and mentoring out there. There's great agencies to work with. Sometimes it takes, you know, trying a few to find the one that fits for you. But when you do, it makes such a huge difference.
I love it. I thank you very much. I thank you very much for being here, for being awesome, considering, I mean, what you have going on. And I've seen it happen on a couple of calls throughout the week as well, what's going on in the background. You are an absolute blessing. And I want to thank you for being you, Jessie. Meeting you in person, working with you for so long. It's been incredible. Well.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's been incredible working with you too, Alex, and with the agency. It's just, yeah, it's been great. Thank you for everything you do for us, and I know how hard you work for us.
Thank you. I do it for you. Absolutely. If you weren't here, obviously this wouldn't be a thing. Right. So it only works as a team. Jessie, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram or TikTok as jessiewilliams.ugc. And it's JESSY Williams.ugc. And I don't know if you want my email or just where they can find me there.
Oh,
that's the main two places.
If you want people to have your email, absolutely. But I think Instagram is going to be good. We're going to link it underneath this video as well. We're going to shout it out. I think incredibly inspiring, the things that you post on there as well. People should definitely take a look. It is a testament to what is possible. Like you as a mom, neurodivergent household, 2 neurodivergent boys, having to go through therapy, everything stacked upon each other, and then performing at that kind of level and being such an enrichment every time I see you, either online or offline. Who cannot be inspired by that?
Oh, thank you.
That would be my
You'll
last
make me
word.
blush.
Nah, please. All right. I think that's good. Jessie, it's been a pleasure. Everybody knows where to find you. And then that's going to be that.